We are live here at the Peterborough Curling Club for the 2020 OCAA Provincial Curling Championships. Here we see the Fleming Knights versus Fanshawe College in men's action. First end here we have Fleming Knights throwing the yellow stones with Fanshawe throwing blue stones. All eyes on this first rock from both teams in order to figure out the ice as quick as they can. These Fleming Knights go into this game with 1 win and 3 losses, needing a win to carry on. The Fanshawe Falcons are 2-2 up until this point, as they look to take this stone out top 12 early on in this game. Earlier this morning, we had mixed doubles matchups across the board, where we saw the Humber Hawks taking down Sioux Cougars in 7 ends. These boys look like they're going to keep the house pretty open in this first end, as both teams try to figure out the ice as they trade takeouts down at the far end of the ice, as we get a nice hit and roll in towards the center line from Fleming lead, Spencer Cheeseman. Cheeseman is a third-year athlete from Fleming College from Barrie, Ontario. As now we see Nicholas Robertson from Fanshawe, banging it right on the beak. Top 8, top 12, as we trade takeouts early on in this first end. We've got 5 sheets in play here at this 6-sheet Peterborough Curling Club facility, with 3 men's games, 2 women's games taking on the ice. As we get down to the end of round robin play tonight at 8:30, we'll have our first playoff game. Live on sheet 2, we'll see a women's semifinal matchup as we head into the championship day tomorrow with our last 2 draws of the tournament. Owen Tester here of Fanshawe Falcons, coming all the way from Fort McMurray, Alberta. He's a third-year athlete with this team as he hits and rolls to the outside a little bit. Testing Fleming on new paths down this sheet. Again, all eyes on every stone as these brooms go down quickly for the Fleming Knights. Trying to keep this stone straight. Makes contact, crosses the center line, and trying to sweep this towards the outside of the house. Hoping to get a miss out of these Fanshawe Falcons. The Fleming Knights having maybe some home ice advantage as they train here at the Peterborough Curling Club. And with a hit and roll out here from Fanshawe Falcons, this gives the Fleming Knights an opportunity to find some draw weight as they choose to draw out to the wing. This gives them a good opportunity to find a time on these timers early on in this game. This is Fleming's third, Dylan Vandenbrand from Fort Francis, Ontario. Fort Francis hosted an OFSA curling championship for high school competition a few years ago. That shot is in the 8-foot, out to the right-hand side, as these Falcons test an out-turn takeout on the right-hand side of the sheet, heading away. Rushers down all the way to hit and flop inside. Again, on this pretty open first end of play. Not much ice taken for these takeouts here. It's a little in-out motion from Daniel Vandenbrand, keeping that stone pretty straight. Perhaps a slight overcurl as that stone is out of the ring as well. Trading off and giving the Falcons an opportunity to find draw weight here. This is Brett Henderson, the vice for the Falcons from London, Ontario. That was Brett Henderson throwing his draw that slid just back of the tee line. I timed that one hog to hog. That was 14.7 from the close hog line to the far hog line. As Fleming skip Chris Inglis looks to take this one out. Hits and flops just inside towards the center line slightly. This is Fanshawe Falcon skip Charlie Richards with his first of the first end.
He has so much experience. He actually has a national gold medal in the college under his belt. He's a fifth-year curler for Fanshawe College. I've curled against him myself, and I curled for the colleges. Gosh, that goes back 4 years ago. So he was just getting into it, and he was vice at the time.
I should introduce the listeners to our commentator here. This is Andy Hine.
Hey, how's it going? I'm back. I had to take a little break there. My regular day scheduled job takes place, so.
Kept me solo for the last draw, the mixed doubles game, where we saw Humber Hawks taking down Sioux Cougars.
Yes, mixed. My favorite games to watch. So pretty clean first end then, eh?
Testing out the ice.
Sometimes these teams do this because they're on a time limit, right? You only
For sure.
have 2 minutes to get this game in. And that's, sorry, I should explain a little bit here. So Charlie right now, the skip, he's throwing, as soon as he crosses the tee line, that timer stops.
Absolutely.
So essentially, it's timing you from when the rock finishes at the far end, that's when it gets switched over until you're sliding out, crossing tee line, that's when it stops. So 32 minutes each team has to complete each end. So the draw was a little heavy there. He could just throw right on through.
It looks like he did.
First end ends at
Yeah, blanks on the board for the first one. Going back talking to the time limit here, that's thinking time as they call it. They used to, Curling Canada used to have what they call playing time, but they made the switch because they kind of figured that it was a disadvantage to the team throwing draws, and it was more advantageous for the team throwing big weight hits and takeouts, peels, that kind of thing. So now they've made that change. So it's thinking time. So when that rock is in motion, when it's in play, it's not advantageous to make it go down the sheet as fast as you can.
Looks a little bit heavy here on this first one. Logan Yule. Sorry, that's Spencer Cheeseman. Yeah, sorry, I was watching Logan play the other day. He is their alternate one in. But no, he is not in this game.
As that one sails right through the house. Fanshawe skip, Charlie Richard goes right up to the center line, setting up a corner guard likely.
Yeah, you see some skips, sometimes they make those calls from, standing at T-line. Some coaches do prefer just calling everything from that T-line, having that look. Honestly, I love when I'm calling a guard to walk up, especially when the house is open like this, because for me, as my front end has a look, they really visualize where that rock needs to be. You're standing at that location. So it's a lot more visual cue for them. I find I've seen a lot of good front ends respond well.
Good. Just different than myself. I'm usually one who stands on the tee line, regardless of the shot.
Yeah. So a little difference there, right?
For sure.
And it all depends who your front end is.
Absolutely.
What they do, what they enjoy. I just like it as myself. I'm a very visual cue.
Good.
So if I'm going to throw a peel, they're standing up right by that top rock, and I'm here.
Spencer Cheeseman, second attempt on this draw. Better this time as it slides just behind the tee line. Back four, biting button.
Yeah, you got to hone in on that, the speed of the ice. You don't want to be coming up deep each time, especially if you want to guard later on in the end.
Sure. This ice has changed a little bit since warm-up, naturally, as that pebble wears off on the slide path. Falcons look to take advantage of this corner guard. Wrap one in behind, get some rocks in play. I think we'll see
some experience there. Some leagues or some skips may chase that stone, blank, and he's looking just to get some rocks in play. It's behind tee line, so that's probably another reason why he's not going to look at the hit so much. With that rock behind tee, he's not as worried about it.
I think they got caught on the amount of curl that they had expected. You might see them tighten up the ice a little bit moving forward, as that one slides just behind the tee line as well, almost building a bit of a wall back there with some backing.
Making an interesting call here. He wants to hit about 3/4 of that blue stone, roll and bump his yellow out to the edge of the 12, but keep his shooter right in the middle by center line.
Sweepers on this all the way down, hog to hog.
So if you get a plan B and look, this is when I'd be looking to get off that stone and instead rolling it behind that corner guard. So that's when you look at that room for error, right, that we spoke of earlier this morning. Now there's a nice double setup. If you get this just off nose on the right side.
Might not be looking to double. You might just be wanting to push that one on the button back and flop on over.
Oh, yeah. That's not a bad idea either. I mean, you're right. There's no need to double. They're both behind tee right now. You get that shot stone, and you really position that shooter into a great spot.
Very nice.
Couldn't quite get that curl, so shooter spins out. Back rock, though, gets pushed back to that 8-foot.
As English rushes up to the guard, hoping to peel.
I'm a little surprised by the call. They're looking to steal here. They don't have hammer, so keeping rocks in play is a real advantage here instead, especially you got one in the house. I'd almost be looking to come around and try to sit top 8 foot, bite that 4 behind that corner guard.
Missed opportunity on that peel. Their shooter sticks around.
Yeah. Needs to curl a little bit. But spins out. There's some good swing this morning, though. There was the rocks, yeah, they were living pretty well. Like that's what I was looking for, how I like them to. Oh yeah, that was good. Not too much, but enough.
Fleming College hoping to take advantage of that unforced error of rolling out, going behind their own guard. Sweeper's not on this stone at all. They're taking this one deep as it slides to the back 8.
Yeah, it looked like they were looking to just push the across with that directional sweep. Get it to curl more, but you have to sacrifice that shot zone. So they put it at the back.
Letting Fanshawe Falcons freeze to this stone.
That's a great call by Charlie. You just sit right on top, get shot stone.
Partly behind cover. Nothing yet from the sweepers.
It looks like it's there, has extra. So yesterday I spoke a lot about, throwing to the sweepers. So if I'm going to draw, a freeze there in that circumstance, I'm not looking to throw that to that rock. I'm probably looking to throw it to about the top 12. That's where I aim for all my draws. In practice, when I throw them, they're not going touching that tee line. Why? Because I know my sweepers are going to be able to give it that little extra bit.
Absolutely.
So especially when you're freezing, I'd rather see a lighter stone and then sweep it to get it on top over throwing it through.
For sure. This is Vandenbrand coming in. Gonna lock it right on that stone. Rolls off a little bit.
A little bit of separation there. So he's just going a little tap back.
And again, these stones are all behind the tee line.
So calling for tee line weight.
Might see the brushers a little bit more involved on this stone. As Richard gets his stopwatch out to get an accurate time, hog to hog here.
Brett Henderson, an experienced curler himself, curled a few years for the Saints. That's St. Clair. A number of years. They do not have a team in this field this weekend. Those a little bit heavy, doesn't quite get the curl. Swings out to the back 8.
Inglis hoping to hit and roll out, or at least away from that scoring area. So he doesn't build and add to that wall, that collection of stones behind the 4-foot.
Got to get a grasp on that feel for the weight here. If you know you're heavy on your first one, take a fair bit off.
Yep.
Right, as I said, throw for your sweepers. We have them in curling for a reason. You might as well utilize them.
Looks like this one's starting to go on them. Hits it right on the nose. I think it is there.
You're gonna have to throw some good weight. I'd be throwing normal.
And Richard sees it.
Yeah. Charlie, Richard can throw these shots. I've watched him throw these shots. But again, every day, every ice is different. I'm wondering how thin you have to hit this. From our view, I don't know. It looks to be about maybe 3/4. I would say about 3/4 of this stone.
Look at the ice they're taking.
Oh, yeah,
It's gonna be a rocket. Yep. Yeah, it's gonna be a bullet.
Look for this thing coming down.
Getting some encouragement from his sweepers.
The other option would have been just freezing on top, right?
Totally could.
Still try to get your 2 points, come down with a nice freeze. I mean, here he's almost looking again for another blank.
You're right. Yeah, all these stones are behind the tee line. That freeze is there. Maybe that's what his sweeper's mentioning right now.
Yeah, if you get a corner freeze on that just outside yellow, you're going to be shot stone.
Yeah.
And if they hit it, it's going to be jumping out onto the yellow, depending on which side they come. So, yeah, I would say they're going for that freeze there. Looking for the button. Got a curl button.
Very nice weight here from Charlie Richard. Freezing right to the nose of that stone back 4 foot. Shot stone now belongs to Fanshawe Falcons. With Chris Inglis, Fleming skip, hoping to rattle some stones around, punch that blue that was just thrown through that hole.
Yeah, this is a difficult decision here, too, because you want to get shot stone. If you froze on top, you'd actually be shot going into the final stone. But, you know, you got to make the decision. You don't want to give up 2.
Still early, right?
So he'd rather see this one get out of there, throw that heavy weight. You want to hit it just off of nose on the right. So come across
Yep.
the face of the stone. I'd be looking at getting even half of it would be good, because you get half, it might just sneak by that back yellow.
He's coming back
I
up.
think it's going to rub, but
He's coming back up for another look. He's wondering if that blue will stay in play, even with lots of weight.
with enough weight, you'll be able to get that out of there. It should sneak behind that yellow that's on the left.
I think there is enough room.
If anything, it might just push it up on the tee. But with enough weight, it'll come out the back of the house. So sweepers are on it. And they're right away off. Trying to get it to curl. Yeah, you need this on the other side. They're going to be hitting this basically straight back into their blue. Or into their yellow, sorry, yeah. So jams. Let's say the Fanshawe Bluestone is shot rock.
Opportunity now for the Falcons to get 2 in the second end.
Charlie, just take that same draw. Honestly, he just threw that draw way down that 3-foot hop. When you keep that same shot, and you're saying, just that button, take the same height on, do it, 2 minutes ago, repeat it, and you have 2.
Choosing to play the takeout, though. Lots of weight for a takeout with hammer.
Well, see, that looks close to the same ice he took for his last draw, right? Maybe less.
You think so?
Yeah, so we'll see when he...
Comes out with weight.
Yeah, that is not a draw that I was thinking of here. So he might be just going for that nose hit, play it clean. Sometimes, whatever you're more confident in for your own shot. So they're doing a nice little clean here. Straight nose hit.
Very nice. Very nice result. Fanshawe Falcons taking 2 in the second end, going up 2-0 against Fleming Knights.
So supports us. So Nicholas Robinson from Mount Bridges, Ontario, second-year curler for Fanshawe College. He'll be throwing his first stone. It looked like Charlie Culprit top of the house there, putting it in play off the bat. So by the load and impressive. A lot of skips do like to do that, when they are up. Get one in the house, see how the other team reacts. They're going to play a hit game. I'm sure he plays a hit game.
If Fleming draws, though, that means they're in for a game, right? Getting some stones in play.
Yes, exactly.
So this one,
Great sweep and throw.
so we are throwing up a corner guard, Spencer Cheeseman, which means that Chris Inglis wants some rocks in play, something to hide behind.
Yeah, that's the right decision. And that rock sitting top 4 foot, full 4, down at the far end. So it's in a great rock placement right now. But coming off now for Inglis, he just lost 2 points there. So Fanshawe picked up a deuce. You got to get and respond with a deuce. So you're not going to get that playing a massive hit game. You're going to get that with rocks in play as they try to sweep it off that center line.
Not curling as much there.
No, it didn't have a strong finish. Usually you will see that rock move a lot more as it crosses over that center line, but it kind of stuck around there. We were talking about Ice Maker as well, and he said that it would be a little bit straighter today just from their compressor and mechanical issues they had from yesterday when curling was all shut down here at the Peterborough Club, and we have to go elsewhere. Can't say enough thanks to the amazing staff at Fleming College and our varsity coordinator, Jane Bowman, who worked her butt off to get it all organized at 2 different clubs, and the community for embracing the competition at those outlets as well.
Absolutely.
But, so it will be a little straighter to expect for this morning.
Strong curling community here in Peterborough, as local John Epping is from Peterborough. He'll take on the competition at the Briar in Kingston in a couple weeks' time.
Yes, his mom as well, I think from curls as well. So very strong. We've had a number of great curlers come from the Peterborough area.
She was here working on the ice a little bit this morning, and she might still be in the curling club right now.
Looks like Fleming throws their first hit. Nice little hit and roll. Rolls a little too far, but Skip's going to take it out wide. If it's headed that way anyways, yeah, sweep it, get it a little wider.
I'd like to see Fleming bringing the weight down, keeping stones in play. Even though that didn't roll behind cover, it's still in play. If that was up weight, hitting it at that spot, it probably would have rolled out of the house. But because they brought that weight down, it stuck in, forcing Fanshawe to take this one out and not giving them the opportunity to perfect their draw weight.
off nose and rolls to the outside. Well, stones out there in play, they're a lot harder to hit. Those pebbles are still fresh. They're not as worn down. The ice is going to be a little bit slower out there. It's harder to judge. Sometimes you can get them drifting. Walks in the outer areas of that 12-foot.
Yeah, it can be tough to chase.
Yeah, so you can see right there, they were on it, swept it, and then off right away.
As we see Jacob Alwood's stone hitting and rolling towards the center line, still in the open. And they seem to be trading takeouts here in third end action.
Yeah, this isn't a great spot for a hit and roll behind. You still hit this rock pretty thick, but essentially you're sweeping it from nose and then getting off near the end and hitting it just a little bit thinner than nose.
I like to see these downweight takeouts from the Falcons. They're a lot more manageable as sweepers. Very nice roll.
It's going to be about half buried. Yeah, and the lower weights are a lot more manageable. I found you don't need normal weight a lot of the times. Keep it around hack, board weight, control if you need. But hack and board, you can still play around with it, get some good rolls. You know that shooter's going to stick around.
100%.
Hitting half or a quarter of that stone, hack weight, that rock's sticking in the house.
Especially now that most of these teams are directionally sweeping, right? You can manage that stone, whether you want to make it curl more or make it go straighter. You can really, really work with that stone.
So hack weight being thrown here.
Trying to get some curl out of it. Spencer Cheeseman on the brush. He's making it curl.
Rolls to the outside. Keeps it in play. I got a good feeling this is going to be a great game ahead of us here.
Mm-hmm. We have had a few games end early at this 2020 OCAA Provincial Curling Championships. But this one, I'd like to see go a full 8 ends as we head into playoffs.
Yeah, yet to see it so far during the commentary as Henderson throws a field goal right through the middle. He was inside off the bat, and not much they could do about that. Too widespread between the guard and Yellowstone. So Fleming catching a break.
Mm-hmm. Again, notice the broom. It's 4 or 5 inches outside of that stone, making it manageable so they can get enough curl to get that inside roll behind cover.
Need a lot of positive communication here. It's starting to really move. Yeah, they're catching that top guard just off nose as they roll, and now that blue Fanshawe stone is completely buried here. That's the communication. As soon as it's on that guard, you get off. You're wanting it now to over curl so you can get a tap back raise.
Yeah, knowing that shot tolerance among all team members is really important in this game.
Yeah, so this one thrown inside again, but sweepers are on it. Brush down, gonna connect, and roll to center. Kisses their stone, and actually kind of spun out. It changed handles there and spun around to the backside.
Fanshawe Falcons sitting 2 in this third end.
So now they have 2 about halfway into the 4-foot. That back blue is behind the tee. So they're separated by about a foot and a half, maybe 2 feet.
As we see maybe a run back here, pushing their guard into the house and try and get some of those blue stones moving around.
Yeah, I like the run back here. It's lined up for it. You're looking to hit this on nose.
And if you're off nose, as we talked about the shot tolerance, peel.
Yep.
Open it up. Sweepers are off.
The curl.
Right on the nose.
Just off. Oh. You see how, I mean, he was just off nose by maybe half an inch, right?
That's
About
all it
half
took.
an inch. It's going by.
That wasn't the way to miss that shot as the guard stays in front of those stones. Maybe
You have a corner guard to work with now.
you might
But it is late in the end, right? We're down to the
skip stones.
So chances are it's not going to be that much of an advantage, but you do have a hit and roll in behind.
Fanshawe Falcons maybe throwing one up top 12, maybe even outside of the house, just to guard things up.
Yeah, I don't mind. Top 12 would be nice here. Get one in, even if they split the house. But I'd like to cover up that button area. You don't want to leave it an open draw to the button. Although with the weight, sometimes you bet on that. Fleming's been throwing a lot of hits lately. You know, sometimes I'll bet on them going, okay, you've thrown a lot of hits. Let's see how that draw weight is after you come down from the control hit, right?
As this one comes to a halt outside of the house. They're looking at an angle run back here on their own yellow, propelling their stone in towards those two blues in that scoring area.
You have to, basically the previous Vice Rock we watched, that's how you have to hit this stone. Just on the outside, hair off nose. But that blue guard is slightly in behind the yellow. So you hit this too thick, and it's splitting both, which isn't a bad scenario. Sorry, too thin if you hit this. But you do need it on a slight angle.
Bit of an in-out motion here from Chris Inglis.
So you're going to see these guards get rattled up. Yep. As they split around. Keeps it clear, though, for his final skip stone.
Not a bad result.
No, it stays open. You know what? Worst case scenario, that's pretty darn good. Clear both the guards. Have that nice and open for your final stone, which will be a draw, I'm assuming. As Charlie, with the same lineup, will be going to throw a guard here.
That'll be tough for Inglis. Coming down from a takeout, he'll wait to draw on his last. It's a really tough thing to do for a skip. Throwing big weight on your first and draw weight on your second, especially when you haven't drawn much in these opening few ends.
Yeah, exactly. The ice, it's changing. Maybe it's a little bit faster now, right? And he's got to draw against 4 here, so he needs full 4.
Richard wanting to guard his stones. Sweeper's on it most of the way. Making sure it curls that last little bit as it finishes.
What a great shot. That's exactly what he needed. He needs to guard about 3/4 of the stone and maybe a little bit of that 4-foot area in the center.
Communication here from Fleming Knights at both ends of the sheet to see if that stone is covered in the 4-foot. And it looks like it is as they choose to draw in on Chris Inglis' last stone here in the third end of the 2020 OCAA Provincial Curling Championships at Peterborough Curling Club.
Yeah, take this draw. It's an open draw. You need both 4-foot. Get the point. Give it to the sweepers here. Let them bring it in. And trust yourself. So they're close here. Wait for me. Looks
Nice to see the sweepers just cleaning it.
starting to go.
14-8 on this time. Let's see where it stops. Slides back behind the tee line.
Oh, they're biting the back forefoot, but it's not going to be enough, so the sweeper just took it a little bit much there. So that weight was pretty darn close on the tee line. They were right on it. So, steal of 2, I believe, from Fanshawe. I saw where it landed. It was half in the back 4, so Fanshawe picks up another 2. That's tough there when it's that close. You know, sometimes you gotta wait till the very end to sweep it in to bring in an extra foot, right?
As we start fourth end action here at the Peterborough Curling Club. Fanshawe lead, Nicholas Robinson, hoping to take his first stone into the house. Sweeper's on it. Comes into the house, half in the 8-foot center line. Chris Inglis here pointing for Spencer Cheeseman to throw corner guard up on that right-hand side as you look at it. Not a lick from the sweepers.
They know it's heavy.
Might come into the rings. And it does. See a hit and flop in behind their stone that they just threw.
It's called board weight.
Again, nice to see that controllable weight on these hits.
Now this might touch the back of their balloon and push it up a little bit. Because they are throwing that coming in from the outside. If it came from the inside here, it actually dive off a little bit steeper.
This one rolls out towards the wing, does stick around. Those stones are pretty nicely spread out.
Yeah, you got a nice gap there.
There's no double there.
Attempt number 2. Fleming holds his lead, Spencer Cheeseman. Now place that corner guard up. Take that weight off. You know you're heavy. Take it nice and light.
As we see rocks flying on the sheet beside us, sheet number 3.
There we go. They got to bring it as far as they can now.
Just comes over the hog line. That's a high guard in a number 1 position. Still usable, but you can still get around it
Yeah.
because it's so high.
Second for Fanshawe College. Owen Tester. Might be looking at some sort of split here.
He's going to make contact with his own blue, pushing it back a foot or so. Fleming hopes to take advantage of their corner guard, tapping one in behind. But again, because that guard is so high, if the Falcons choose to chase it, they can probably get there.
Yeah, even with some down weight, like if you throw back looking for a draw here. They want an 8-foot.
Weight looks good.
Yeah. Going to that back tee line, just goes back 8-foot, so they carried it all the way back here.
Richard looking to get rid of this guard up front. As him and the Fanshawe Falcons lead 4-0 in end number 4.
Yeah, he's not messing around with anything out front of the house.
That,
Nice peel.
that upweight ability from Owen Tester. He gets his own thrown stone out and away as well.
Yeah, that's how you want to peel right there. And they're sitting 3 in the house. But Inglis has to keep rocks in play. You want points here. I can keep those rocks in. Leave them for now. Freeze maybe even on top for now. You don't need a shot at this moment. But you want to set it up later on in that end. For, maybe a tap, a raise, or a late hit to get a couple points.
Big game here for the Fleming Knights. If they win this game, and if other situations work out and the stars align on the other sheets, there might be a 5-way tie in this men's field at these OCAA Provincial Curling Championships. Wouldn't that be something?
Oh, I would love to see it. That's a nice thrown weight right there. Gets to nose, keeps the rocks in play. He's in 12-foot. Yeah, you're not shot stone. That's all right. You got 2 in now, so now they are going to remove that back.
This is Brett Henderson hoping to take out that open Fleming Knights stone back at the tee line. That'll go all on its own, no help from the sweepers. And there it is, right on the face. As Inglis motions for Vandenbrand to tap his own yellow and split the house, moving some of these stones around.
Yeah, I can't wait to see this weight here. Looks, I would say control. Or up.
Not a lick on that stone. Manages to pop one of the Falcon stones out the back. Not much separation on their stones up top. It doesn't look to be staggered. But it
That's
does.
tough. You catch that on nose, you're going to have a double. But that top yellow stone may just catch the far blue that's hanging out on that 12-foot.
Right, it might.
With a nose hit, it should sweep by, but
I think so.
it's close. I'd have to line it up from the ice.
I think a nose hit will go underneath.
Yeah, I'm thinking it'll go between those, that outside 12-foot stone and the back blue that's in the 8-foot there.
Something to keep in mind as Charlie Richard watches this rock come down the ice, calling line. Might be falling out a little bit. Hits it off nose. Does take a rub off that stone out at the edge of the 12-foot and keeps the Fleming Knights stone in play.
Yeah, so it did just kiss that back end, and now it's third shot there. So Fanshawe is sitting 1, 2, and 4, and then Fleming Knights still have that one in the 12-foot. So you still have an opportunity here to pick up 2, potentially freeze to that back. Maybe freeze to that back one, if not split the house here.
It is still there.
So they're gonna go for a hit. Get
As
rid
we
of that top
see
one.
Vandenven's last shot here in the first half of play. We'll be throwing an in-turn hit Looks to be close. She's been trying to make it curl a little bit more.
They get it to move.
This gets a little flop towards the center line. And it stays wide open for Charlie Richards to hit. It's important for Richard to stay in the house after this hit. If he rolls out, Fleming can take Fanshaw's out and sit 2 and totally change the end around.
Yeah, you have to stick around in this. You got to force one here. You want to put on the pressure and force Inglis to make either a double at the end for 2 or some sort of more higher risk shot, because that opens an opportunity, 1, to steal, but 2, really makes him or puts that pressure on.
Nice control weight here from Richard. Not much from the sweepers as it comes down. It's very nice all on its own. Nose hit. Pushes it through, sticks around nicely. Making it tough for Fleming to score 2 in this 4th end, as Fleming Knights are down 4-0. The Fanshawe Falcons. Falcons happy with that result. Fist bumps going all around.
Yeah, I say you go for the double here. You want to stick around, but ideally catch about 3/4 of the stone, roll to the outer 12-foot area, be shot stone, and split those back too.
Small margin for error for a double takeout and staying in the rings. Inglis coming back down the sheet to have another look.
Rethinking, yeah.
Wondering about a hit and roll in and using that stone top 8-foot as a guard, which I don't mind that idea either.
Yeah, that's not bad. Try to force them to make that run back.
If this is made and if they can ever get an error out of Charlie Richard, there's a chance for 3.
Yeah, that would tighten this score right up. So instead going for shot stone.
Smart decision. Chris Inglis. Only lots of communication to get this roll right.
Looks a little inside. Sweep, but they're close. Calls them right off.
Nice control weight. See where this rolls. If it rolls at all, it doesn't. It hits it right on the nose, making it wide open for Charlie Richard to get to on his last stone of this 4th end.
Yeah, he's looking at that hit and roll to the outside, which I think is a great force here. Because you reduce getting any double opportunity. You're not going to run back that blue, slash it back and try to get the double if it's, just above your yellow stone. So he's hitting, rolling slightly to the outside. Even if he runs onto his blue stone there and bumps it out, that's fine because it'll stick around in full 12 and he'll be sitting 1-2.
That'll be a good result for Charlie Richard. Putting the broom down right on the edge of the rock. But looking at that release, he does throw that little bit of an in-out motion. Making that rock track straight, trying to make this curl a little bit more.
Yeah, he slapped his knee. Gets the double.
Very nice double. And Charlie Richard.
So Inglis gonna come down and draw for final stone of the 4th end, Try to get his team up on the board here and make this game a 4-1 game. A little more room for error here.
This is a pressure draw for Inglis, facing 3 on his last. He's got some room. Shot stone is half in the 8-foot. But Inglis hasn't drawn much in the first few ends of this game. Sweeper's got to be on their game for this throw.
Watch it. It looks close. I would say it's there. I wouldn't be touching this.
Sweeper's liking it.
Yeah, it's really starting to move, though. Oh, yeah, look at that curl. Just get it by that top guard. Or that top
Take
stone.
it as far as they can.
They get it into that 8. Keep it going. Oh.
Took a little spin just as it came to a halt. Both teams taking a look right overhead of this stone.
Yeah, that's really close.
We might see a measure here at the end of the 4th end.
Looks to be...
They're going to measure it.
Yeah. They're going to... You know what? It's better to play it safe. I've had it in a couple where you go, you know what? I believe that's yellow, but I'd rather double check and make sure than move them out of the way and you're not measuring anymore and whatever you decided stuck. So take that little bit of measurement.
So we get the stick out.
The blue one's like millimeter.
They got to be holding their breath here. They need this point. Need
5-0
it.
and 4-1 is a big difference.
Yeah, 3-point game, very doable. I'd say that's oh.
Blue.
So blue is the shot stone. Steal of 1.
Fanshawe Falcons going up 5-0 as we wrap up the 4th end, heading into this 4th end break at the 2020 OCAA Provincial Curling Championships in Peterborough, Ontario. We'll come back to 5th end play in a few minutes.
ends. Tough break though for Fleming College. As they are now down 5-0 after 4.
They lost that measure in the fourth end.
Had to get rid of the static.
But they do keep hammer here in end number 5. As we see lead Spencer Cheeseman throwing up a corner guard.
Here for the Fanshawe team, we've got some viewers in St. Thomas, so shout out to the Turners who are watching lead. That's Nicholas Robinson of Fanshawe Falcons play today, so this afternoon. So hello Turners, thank you for joining us.
And here goes Nicholas Robinson right now as he shoots his second stone in the fifth end.
You should have been here filming. My sister so excited. She just graduated from Fanshawe.
Fleming College not wasting any time as they get set in the hack, ready to go before this Falcon stone even comes to a halt.
That is a key. When you're prepping and you're on a time limit, you want to take as much time thinking over shots. So when the shot is called, you want that rock clean, ready to go. Your foot's on top of the hack and ready to place it in place. So you're only eating up maybe 10, maybe 15. after some technical difficulties there.
Missed a little bit. Right now, Fanshawe leads 6-0. They were got away and stole one in the 6th. Currently playing that hitting game. Sorry about those technical difficulties. Jeez, technology, right?
I don't know what happened.
Yeah.
We got part of the 5th end, and then apparently we went black. Good thing for communication. Back to the folks here at the Peterborough Curling Club for the 2020 OCAA Provincial Curling Championships. We are in the 6th end of play, men's play. The Fleming Knights are taking on the Fanshawe Falcons. We're hoping to fix up all of our technical difficulties.
Yeah, keep it running here. So Fleming definitely needs some points on the board if they want to continue this match.
We are in attendance here at the Peterborough Curling Club if the live streaming is working okay. As we see the Fleming Knights sitting one stone, Fanshawe Falcons with one other stone on the other side of the house, full 12. As we get down to skip stones here in 6th end of play.
Yeah, Fleming really needs a couple here to get going.
Fanshawe may be hoping to freeze on that wide yellow.
Yeah, get shot stone. I like that call. Get shot stone. You're reducing right away with the freeze.
It is back of the tee line. Exactly right. Shrinking that scoring area, making it tougher on Fleming to get on the scoreboard.
So Fleming still has a chance at getting a couple points here. If you can get 2, I'd be looking to play a 7th end.
Yeah.
6-2 isn't bad. You can climb back from that.
Steal 2 more in the 7th.
2 more coming home.
Isn't that crazy? Could
Why not?
happen.
You know, I have seen it a number of years ago. I saw a 5-1 lead go to a 5-5 tie.
Is that right?
And then in the 7th end, they scored another 5. So they actually, one team had only scored in 2 ends, and there were 2 5-point ends, basically to give them the win of that game. Whereas the other team won 6 out of the 8 ends, but couldn't come out with the win in total.
Lost the game.
So that one came up short. So they still got a shot here for Inglis.
Richard managing to find an into the paint up in that top 12-foot area. Chris Inglis lining up for his first of the 6th end.
I hope they're giving him enough ice here because you have to base it off the previous shot. So Charlie Richard, he would have thrown a stone with some ice and see where it ended up there. Now you, Inglis, has to draw around that blue guard essentially, right? So you may have to give yourself a little bit more ice and room to get by that closer guard.
I'm gonna go check.
So they're sweeping hard, trying to bring it across. It is very light. Gonna come up short. They still have hammer, and they are sitting 1. Still a chance to get 2 after the first light draw.
There are still 2 more draws as we head into evening action of play. At 5:45, we see mixed doubles action take to the broadcasting sheet, sheet 2. then at 8:30 tonight, we see our first playoff game with the women's team playing a semifinal.
Yeah, semi-final before the matchups tomorrow.
Sunday, there's only 2 games to be played, and that's bronze and the gold medal match. So today, it is down to the final round-robin games and the semifinals this evening.
Those championships games take to the ice tomorrow at 9:30 and noon. We can confirm that time later on today.
They're trying to bring it in here. Charlie Richards starting to slow down. Sweepers are on it. They want shot. Stone doesn't quite get there.
Catches an inch of that 12-foot.
Fleming's guaranteed 1. You need just half of that 8-foot, not even. To bite the 8, and you're sitting 2.
Taking lots of ice here on this shot. You'd hate to come in tight and rub against those guards and those stones up near the center line. Smart play from the Fleming Knights.
Yeah, you have room. Clean this. Remember, his last one came a little light. He's going a little more to the outside. Less pebble. Or more pebble, I should say.
Sweepers on this. Off now.
Be close. It looks like it's there. I will not say that it's going to go past that tee line. Curl right on into the 4-foot and just biting the button. That's a great shot by Inglis to take 2 in the 6th end. 6-2 game. Looks like they're going to play a 7th.
That'll help the confidence of these Knights as they find 2 on the scoreboard after 6 ends of play here. I'm excited to see how these Fleming Knights set up this 7th end as they look to steal, with Fanshawe Falcons having the hammer.
Rocks in play are what is needed here. Keep the rocks in play. That is your only bet. If you take a look to the left, you see that Fanshawe team huddled up. They're having their nice little team meeting. I love that. 30 seconds, that's all you need after an end to regroup. Talk about the plan that's, coming forward, what you want to accomplish in this end. They're going to be looking to keep it very clean. Mm-hmm. Keep it open as possible. They'll probably be throwing through the house.
They probably will.
If anything. And Cheeseman needs those guards up front now. Super
Inglis
crucial.
Might like to see 2 guards stacked up upon each other. One high one just above the hog line and one tight to the rings. This one he wants just over the hog line. Looks like it's there. Great execution from Spencer Cheeseman. Interesting call here from Charlie Richards, choosing to keep his lead stones in play. You might see some skips wanting to throw their stones straight through the house. But Richard does want these stones in play out to the wings of the house. Sweepers on this one all the way down. Charlie Richards out to help them and get this rock in play. They would hate to see a guard up here in this 7th end, hoping that stone gets into the house as it comes to a halt.
So they got it full 12-foot there. Got it in play. And not as a guard, so...
Great awareness from Charlie Richard to come out and help those sweepers drag that stone into the house. As Spencer Cheeseman hopes to throw up one more guard tight to the rings, still in the free guard zone.
Yeah, you need those guards in play.
Falcons won't be able to take any of these guard stones out just yet, because we do have the 5-rock rule in play at this bonspiel.
Yeah, I'm a huge fan of that. You know, you don't want these games getting into just pure hit games. You definitely want to really play out when there's more rocks in play. That just adds so much more, I feel, to the game where, you know, now you're not necessarily thinking just, oh, let's just hit it, get rid of it. Now you got, you know, doubles, triples. You got, you know, sitting, freezing, draws. It definitely adds another element into that game. And for Fleming, who's down by such a margin, it gives them a shot at getting more rocks into play before they're starting to be removed.
Absolutely. We only saw that one Blake end. That was in our first end, as those teams ran up and down, exchanging takeouts. If we look across the scoreboards to other sheets, we see lots of blank ends on sheet number 3, where Mohawk takes on Confederation. There are 3 blank ends there.
Yeah, that's a lot of blank ends. And that shot by, that's the lead for Fanshawe College. Nicholas Robinson came up a little short, rubbed on that top guard there. So it rolled out. Now it's a corner guard for that blue stone. And it looks like the second for Fleming College, Jacob Outwood. Just scoots by.
Wow.
And they're going to try to get it to curl, get
around.
buried. I can still see about half of that stone. But
Charlie Richards up quick to peel some of these guards out. He would love to open this front end up.
yeah, he doesn't need them. So get rid of them.
Lots of weight here from Owen Tester. Falcons second. Lots of rocks flying around. Keeps his shooter up as a guard. It is high, just over the hog line, but moves 3 rocks out of the way. That's a good result for the Fanshawe Falcons.
So now center guard being called by Inglis. So he's looking to place one probably a little bit higher here on that center line.
It's a tough choice as a skip to decide when to come around, when to stop throwing guards and start putting rocks into the house. It looks like Inglis chooses to hope to waste a couple of Falcon stones as he throws up a guard.
Yeah, it might be a little close. I'm wondering if they're going to try a double
They
here.
might,
A run back double.
with enough weight, they might peel out as well.
Yep, and a roll to the outside. And he's throwing weight for sure.
That in-turn peel, running straight.
Not going to catch that back one. Jams on his guard and rolls in and through the house.
Nice break from Owen Tester.
So got rid of 2. Yeah, get another guard up there. As we are into the Vice Stones. At least for Daniel Van Bram of Fleming College. Needs another guard up.
He's a second-year player from Fort Frances, Ontario.
Probably going to have to try some finicky shots here. Potentially a little split might not be a bad option. You know, just tap yours into cover. Now behind that blue corner guard and see if you can roll out to about 8 foot. So a hair outside, but it still looks good. Nope. Gonna flash for Brett Henderson. That's just his release there. He comes out online. But when he does release, noticing at the same, he kind of turns his wrist and he pops that handle to the outside to get the handle on it. It's not the cleanest release, and it allows the rock to push to the outside. When you're throwing a little bit heavier weight, like that peel weight, it's not going to come back in. So in a draw, that's fine stuff to see. I don't mind that in a draw, but in a peel weight, if that's the case, you're going to have to throw inside and then essentially push it back out to right line. So Fleming, huge break.
Yeah, with that mistake, we're going to see third Dylan Vandenbrand taking full advantage of that, wrapping one around. Those stones out front, not curling maybe as much as they hoped, as they try to take this one back to get as much of it covered as they can.
Nice finish, but it is behind the tee line. Charlie's still looking at throwing those peels. He's gonna
Looking to get a slash here, hoping to get rid of those two sitting out front and their shooter.
So cleaner release by Brett Henderson on that one.
This is the other turn too.
Yeah, exactly. A little more control for a right hand. Sweeps it, holds it. That's a nice shot, opening up, and even your shooter, still a guard, still in play, but at least it's out to that 8 foot. It's
Away from the center line, exactly. That's the key here. I think Fleming's going to use that stone in the top 12 foot as a guard. Going to try and come around it. I think the tolerance here is to bump that stone back a little bit so it's still behind cover.
Yeah, I don't mind a little raise here. You got to hope for a break this early on. Even for your first one, maybe even toss up a guard. Have it throw in that guard zone, free guard zone, maybe like a 3.
Yep, nice and tight.
But still, you're going to force Charlie to think about making a hit here, maybe a peel. And then for your last one, that's when you toss it into the house and
Right.
add the stone, maybe do that little raise.
Get him to waste one more stone, right?
Yeah, exactly. It looks like that's what they're going for here. I'd like it a little bit close. Oh, there, they're getting a little extra curl.
Very nice finish.
That is a nice shot. Beautiful finish. That back one, you can draw through that hole.
Yep.
Yep. Or even he's going a little hit, so you might see some softer weight.
Keep in mind these ports or these holes that a skip sees from the house look bigger from the house than they do from the other end of the sheet.
Yeah.
I'm sure you know that as a skip. It looks fine from there, but as soon as you come around the other end, there is room. There's totally room.
Yeah, you can fit about 2 rocks in there. So you do have some room, but he is going to be playing this pretty tight to that top guard. Maybe only squeezing by a couple inches because of the weight that he's throwing. You look at the ice that's given. He's probably going to be throwing about board weight.
Yep. Yeah, bringing that weight down a little bit, making it controllable and manageable by these sweepers. And we'll give some credit to Nicholas Robinson and Owen Tester, doing a fantastic job all game sweeping. As Tester is going hard here, trying to keep that stone straight.
Gets it
As
around.
they go through the porch.
That 2-inch clearance by. Perfect nose hit. Wonderful shot.
Very nice execution from Charlie Richard.
So, Inglis is going to try to follow him down that same path. I wouldn't even mind taking a little lighter ice.
Yeah.
It becomes a little bit harder. So what I mean by that is moving that ice out a little bit more, getting more room, throwing a lighter stone, and instead of removing that blue stone completely, have it stick around in the back. So it'll allow you to curl more to the inside and maybe angle, tap it back.
Yeah.
Right? You want coverage more than you need that stone removed.
That'll make it tougher for Charlie Richard to score.
So their cleaning needs to curl. Needs to curl a lot.
Getting through that porch.
Roll it out to find the cover behind the
Very
guard.
nice.
Sticks in the 12-foot.
Very nice execution from Chris Inglis, forcing Charlie Richard to draw for his single here in 7. 2 very nice shots, back-to-back, control weight, managed very well by both sets of sweepers. Richard forced to the draw on this in-turn side. We haven't seen many stones come down this way recently. Richard having a quick discussion with the sweepers, just talking about how they think this stone will run.
All you needed is fighting 8-foot here by the looks of it. 8-foot is going to give you the point and probably cause Fleming to shake.
Sweepers on it quick.
And they're going hard here.
It's tight.
Could be light. They want to make sure. I'd rather have this come back 8 than come up short.
Great sweep, keeping this stone straight, getting it into the house. Hands go up by Owen Tester. Very nice draw from Charlie Richard. And we see handshakes here after 7 ends of play at the Peterborough Curling Club.
So there you have it. Fanshawe Falcons will pick up another win at the OCAA Curling Provincial Championships. In 7 ends, they take this one 7-2 against Fleming College, the host school for the OCAAs.
You can rejoin our broadcast at 5:45 when we see mixed double action here on Sheet 2. Until then, my name is Matt Holze.